Greg or Cameron. So I'm at New Chapter 3, Part 4. That one needs approval. That's the one that's stopping.
All right.
So who's the
Well,
third party?
sorry, what now?
So who's the third party?
I don't know. Hey, we'll talk about it in a second. Okay. Welcome
Alright.
everybody. We are streaming live from the Digital Media Institute here in Shreveport, Louisiana. One of the things that we try to do on a weekly basis is have kind of a discussion about the visual effects from the movies in 2024 that were nominated for Best Visual Effects. And to this point, we've had a discussion about the winner, Godzilla Minus One. We did try to stream that, except for the fact that it had some issues with content that was from overseas, and they didn't like that. Then last week we did the visual effects from the creator, which were amazing. And this week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the visual effects from Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, which is the 8th movie in the franchise. Which, from my perspective, and you guys feel free to chime in on this one. When you get that far into doing a series of movies, and let's say like even Fast and the Furious, which is, I mean, I think 11 is up now coming.
Yeah, I
You're
lost
kind
interest in that after the first one, unfortunately.
you're when you get that far into a franchise, you're getting to that point of like, okay, haven't we done this as many times as we can do this? But one of the things that you were saying was that that Tom Cruise just keeps doing it over and over again, and like, I mean, he is um he claims anyway to do his own stunts. And in this particular case, you absolutely can say that Tom Cruise did his own stunt, at least stunt singular, for this one, which was it may be one of the biggest stunts that's ever been done for any movie ever. And so we're going to talk about that. I think the first thing that I want to do is let's talk about that stunt, which is right here. This is kind of a behind the scenes of the stunt. And if you guys haven't seen the movie, just trust me, this is a huge part of it, and it has a lot to do with just Tom Cruise's passion for, I mean, any movie that you ever see him in, he's riding a motorcycle. That's just kind of his signature deal. And this time he rides one off a cliff and legitimately does it on his own. So let's just check this out. Oh, hold on. Sorry, that's at the end. No, we'll try that one more time. Can you guys hear
This
it?
is far and away the most dangerous thing we've ever attempted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been working on this for years. We're gonna shoot it in Norway, and it'll be a motorcycle jump off a cliff into a base jump.
There'd be no way I would do that.
It all comes down to one thing: the audience.
I'm just wondering what the heck.
There's a lot going into this stunt. So Tom put together this master plan to coordinate all of these experts in each of the particular disciplines involved to make this whole thing happen.
John and I are jumping out of the helicopter, and he's gonna chase me. That's what we say to each other. Don't be careful, be confident. Be confident.
A year of base training, advanced skydive training, a lot of canopy skills, a lot of tracking.
Tom Cruise, he's an amazing individual. You tell him something and he just locks it in. His sense of spatial awareness, he's the most aware person I've ever met.
Lots of practice on stability and freefall.
Tracking with John and Miles in the air, doing lots of different positioning, like they were a two-man team in the air, coming on top of each other, below each other, backtracking, front tracking. You know, we've drilled and drilled and drilled.
When you do a lot of jumps back to back, the canopy control skills improve a lot.
We have 3 open canopies, which is a good thing.
The training's gone really well. It's progressive massively.
Hey, McHugh.
How are you?
Great day, man. This is the next part of training right here, motocross.
Let's do it. So we built a motocross track.
getting competent in the motocross, so he's comfortably jumping 70, 80-foot tabletops. Great time in the air, great positioning on the bike, landing well.
I have to get so good at this that there's just no way that I miss my marks.
That's good. Come a little closer to me. Coming up with the stunt is only one of the technical challenges. The other is putting a camera in a place that you can see where Tom is doing it, finding the right.
All right, I gotta say something here, you guys. Couple of things. First of all, one of the things that I have always said that I love about the film industry is that it is a never-ending exercise in problem solving. And so just watching the preparations that they go through and the fact that they have to build certain things to make this whole thing work that have never been built before, that to me is always like that's super impressive to do that. The second thing, and I don't actually know if this is true or not, so I'll qualify it with saying that, but I don't even know, typically speaking, when you run a production on a movie, there's insurance that gets paid out for every actor that's on the show. Because if they have an injury or an illness or whatever, you can put in an insurance claim, and they can stop the production, and that will kind of cover the costs of the production in the event that a major character goes down for whatever reason. I think that Tom
Workman's
Cruise.
comp.
It's not workman's comp. It's way beyond that. But I think Tom Cruise is pretty much uninsurable at this point because, anybody that's ever signed up for life insurance, they ask you, do you do any risky activities like skydiving and stuff like that, motor racing and things like that. He does all of those, right? And so where he ends up, I think, is that Tom Cruise, I actually believe, owns the franchise of Mission Impossible, or is at least a heavily vested in Paramount Studios. And so that's how he gets his end on these deals. So if that makes sense. But anyway, let's keep watching.
Lens,
this thing.
the right platform, the right medium. Even 2 years ago, the cameras didn't exist that would allow us to do what we're trying to do today.
How do we involve the audience? I just want to give them that thrill.
That means the camera has to be in front of Tom and as close to him as possible. Feels like you're going over the camera.
Yes, very cool. You train and drill every little aspect over and over and over and over again.
They were doing 30 jumps a day.
Getting to a point where he was just a machine. I mean, over 500 skydives.
That's what we do. Over 13,000 motocross jumps.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Oh, it's great.
We replicated this ramp in England at a quarry.
We filled the quarry with cardboard boxes, which were there to catch the motorcycle. And the reason why we did that is so that Tom could simulate the jump.
How fast should I go off? What distance do I travel?
Guys, that's just practice for this thing. I mean, that's amazing, actually. I mean, do you guys see what they did just to practice this thing? That's incredible, actually.
We
No
built
kidding.
models of different ramps at different angles to calculate what Tom's trajectory would be. We have to be able to consistently predict where Tom is going to be in three-dimensional space.
We're going to have a GPS chip on me.
And that recorded every single one of Tom's jumps, along with his ground speed, whether there was a headwind, whether there was a crosswind. And by doing this multiple times, we were able to get a consistent set of data.
So that each take we can see what height I am, so this way we can set drones and cameras in places where I can go right into close-up. Rule 1. Don't hit me with the drone. Because if we do it all, we don't capture it right, what's the point? Let's do it, guys. Ready? Yep. Always wear my earplugs so I don't hear myself scream. We are ready. The key is me hitting certain speeds and being consistent with that. There's no speedometer, so I do it by sound and feel of the bike. And then as I depart the bike, I'm using the wind that's hitting me here, and I'm cupping my chest. That will give me lift. Thank you all very much for your help, guys.
All Right, and now here we are in, I think this is Norway, actually. Now, are you guys impressed thus far? If you haven't seen the movie, is this like interesting?
I am
hope.
surprised he has that much metal to not only ride a motorcycle, but yet doing jumps with it. I'm sorry, there is no way I would not be able to do that without being so scared I would pee on myself. There
Agreed.
is
I mean,
no
that's
way.
and the thing is, that's how you do it. Like, I mean, you have to drill it over and over again. But you know, it's one thing to set it up in a quarry in England, and then another thing to set it legitimately on the edge of a cliff, right? And so
Wait,
this is
an
where
actual cliff?
this is. Can you
Oh
see
no
the
no no
screen?
no 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 no! That's
You can see
where
the screen,
things
right? Like,
really can get
Wendy,
creepier.
you can see the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is legitimately at the edge of an actual cliff.
Oh no no no! No!
We're here in Norway.
Oh!
No.
This ramp over a number of months. Everything here has to be brought in by helicopter.
Engineers and technicians, it's incredible what they've done. This is masterful.
Today is day one of principal photography, and we are starting in classic mission form with the biggest stunt in the film.
What we're doing here is I'm just doing jumps just to warm up the body. Just do it just to get my tracking going and make sure everything's working all right. Try not to smile.
Basically, when he gets down and puts a parachute on and goes and does the bike jump, he'll actually know the weather conditions in this area, in the valley, and on the ground.
And then he has to safely deploy a parachute. Now he's in a rock bowl with walls all around him, and he's got to fly out of it.
Of course, you know, when something's been done for the first time, you can't help but worry a little bit about how it's really going to turn out.
With a jump like this, the challenge is finding the cameras, it's the amount of preparation, and then it's weather.
You want the light to be right, you want the clouds to be right. Misty, but not foggy. This weather right here is exactly what we're looking for.
He is about 10 minutes away from coming up here, landing, and doing the actual stunt.
Sounds good. We're in motion. See you soon.
Now we're going to set the frames with this camera ship with the drone just to verify everything, then we're going to get ready.
You know, the only things you really have to avoid while doing a stunt like this is serious injury or death. Here we go. You're riding a motorcycle, which is pretty dangerous, on top of a ramp that's elevated off the ground, so if you come off the ramp, that's gonna be very bad. You're falling. If you don't get a clean exit from the bike and you get tangled up with it, if you don't open your parachute, you're not gonna make it.
I saw a canopy.
To you guys, thank you.
Now, Tom, that was absolutely beautiful. Like, nothing wrong. Bike went away. I mean, the track was perfect. It was actually, it was great.
Thanks, mate. I think I can hold to the bike a little longer.
Pretty much the biggest stunt in cinema history. Tom Cruise just rode a motorcycle off a cliff 6 times today.
right. So that is one of those moments where Tom Cruise actually can say, it's often said that I do my own stunts. He legitimately did that one. So the reason, that I wanted you guys to see that is like, if we go back to this shot right here, okay, how many of you have seen the movie?
I have.
You've seen it. Anybody else have seen this movie?
Not yet.
Okay, I recommend. Well, okay, you might start at number one. I don't know. And work your way up to it. It is an ongoing
Yeah,
storyline.
that's kind of
But
what I do. I start at the beginning of a series before I
yeah,
just, you know, go willy-nilly.
well, no,
But did you
no.
notice where the guy seemed shocked? Like he
Oh
had his
yeah,
hand on his
absolutely.
head and he's
I
like
mean,
shocked.
well, because you can plan and plan and plan, right? And then hope that it works. But oftentimes things don't go according to plan. But now let's just say from the story perspective, um, there is not a ramp up there, up at the height of the mountains up there. He's actually, from a story perspective, he's actually chasing a train that he has to parachute down onto and land on top of down in the valley. So and the reason this becomes a visual effects shot is because they essentially build an entire section of cliff or like mountaintop that goes over the top of the this ramp, and so it looks like all of the surrounding rock and grass or lichen, whatever all this is, and it blends really, really well. I mean, I'll say that they actually did a really, really good job of making it work from a visual effects perspective. So that's okay. So I wanted to show you guys that because one of the things we were talking about the other day is the reason a movie may or may not win like best visual effects or something along those lines is the fact that sometimes it's about the story that is being told about the visual effects team, and so this was certainly a reason to be nominated for best visual effects because it legitimately is a ridiculously out there thing to do, right? I think we can
A
kind of all
real
agree on that.
banger.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we can all totally agree on that as being like, wow, that's impressive. But now what's equally as impressive in this one is the fact that this is not, I mean, it's not just that one shot. The movie itself is full of just phenomenal work. And again, this is Industrial Light and Magic, same one that we looked at for the creator. I mean, they had so much work that was nominated for best visual effect, which is not unusual for them. But so I want to just kind of go through some of the actual shots that they did in this movie because they're impressive. So it's just a train, and actually a lot of it is all built like that. That's actually what it really looks like, and so they're replacing the entire train. It's pretty good, actually. I hope you guys are not taking notes necessarily, but just make note of all the different layers that are being added in here. I mean, like this is the train just falling into a kind of a quarry pit down here. And they did actually do some of it, but then you can see what they actually did.
That's freaking awesome, man.
I mean, they put some serious money behind this movie to make and this is exactly what I was saying about Godzilla, okay? That they didn't have a lot of money. They did not have a lot of money at all on Godzilla, and they had to be really, really specific about the things they shot and how to be efficient with that sort of thing. On a movie like this, where I guarantee you the production budget on this is in the 250 to 300 million range. You're building, large parts of train cars. I mean, how much do you think it cost just to do that whole stunt of Tom Cruise going off the cliff like that? I mean, a year's worth of training. How many motorcycles did they wreck? Over and over and over again. And
Materials they
close
flew
to
in.
50,000, I presume.
motorcycles.
Probably more than 50K.
Oh, I mean, I would imagine that they probably, I'm just pulling this number out of my head, they probably used up 100 or 200 motorcycles
most definitely.
just to pull that thing off. I mean, he jumps off the thing. He jumps off the thing 6 times, right? In the one day.
True.
It didn't appear to me that they had 6 parachutes for the motorcycle. I mean, I think they splatted on the bottom, right? So,
more than likely they did.
Yeah. And then
but
you
I'm
look
thinking
at
they used 50K worth of dollars just to do these things.
Oh, I think we're in the millions and millions, I think, to pull this stuff off. And the overall reason that you do stuff like this is to sell tickets and to put butts in seats in the theater, or to for video releases.
This movie do good?
It did, actually. And then part 2 of it comes out, I think, at the end of the summer, or it's next year. I don't remember. So
what?
Oh yeah. So this was last year. I think it's August that the second one comes out, or part 2 of this series. But yeah, really well done. I'm going to keep going here. That's impressive.
No kidding. I'm amazed.
Look at this, you guys. Look at they basically built this gimbal trebuchet sort of thing to deal with, and the camera is inside because they actually needed to make it so, because it's going off the cliff, so the interior of the shot has to be he and his co-star kind of doing their best to climb up the inside of a tipped over car like that, and so this isn't not cheap at all. I mean, look at that.
Dude, this is awesome.
Look at all the layers in there.
No kidding.
All those actors are all digital.
Dang, maybe I should go and see the Mission Impossible series.
It's worth seeing. I mean, it's okay. I'm gonna stop and point out a shot here. This shot, where he's running over that right there. There's a green screen underneath it. That is such a hard shot to do, to get rid of all that green, because the grading completely destroys your green screen. So whoever got that job was good job.
No kidding. They were really, really skilled.
Check out this. This is kind of a breakdown of the shot we were looking at. That's all. You'll see what he's driving at. It's all digital. Yeah. Okay. So and what did we see before?
Jump.
What used to be there, guys?
The handmade
the ramp. Exactly.
Yeah, the ramp.
So they spent a lot of time at Substance Painter building this up. This is an excellent piece of work.
The ultimate jump.
There you go.
There he goes, there he goes, and bam! Right off.
That is worth watching one more time. I just want you guys to see that. Look at those layers, how that works through. That's legitimately impressive.
No kidding.
There you go. All right. Anybody got thoughts, comments on that? Because I was
I just got a newfound respect for Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
Dude, that was
interesting.
awesome.
It's interesting because it's one of those things that like I said, he's been doing Mission Impossible since, I mean, man, the early 2000s. And they get movies like that tend to get long in the tooth. They get old, they run out of ideas, but they tend to seem to find ways to continue to make it fresh and interesting. And really the whole like storyline of this is how AI is kind of taking over things, and it's kind of gone rogue on its own, and of course Ethan Hunt has to go and save everything, which is kind of the story of all of them. But they do it in new and interesting ways, and it's like, for somebody like Tom Cruise who loves to do things of that huge scale, it works, and it's not cheesy. It's like, no, that's legit, and so there's a lot of respect I have for that, and I can see why they were nominated for best visual effects, because they were so ridiculously good for what they did in that. I can also see why they didn't win, because again, you have the story of this very like small, intimate visual effects team in Japan doing something that is unusual and exceptional, and you've got the guy who's in his 8th episode of a series of things, so that's kind of why he doesn't necessarily win this one, but certainly a valid contender for best visual effects. So
No
anyway,
kidding. Even I agree with you on that one.
I like watching stuff like this. Again, I love to see the kind of work that other people do, and because it just puts you in the mindset of like, yeah, okay, I know exactly how that's working, and it keeps your head in the game on some level. And for you guys who are just new to all of this, to see it and to get it into your head, it really starts to help get those juices flowing. So anybody else got any other thoughts, comments on this before we wrap up?
What other movies got nominated this year?
So it was The Creator, Godzilla -1, Mission Impossible, Volume 3 of
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, and one other one that I'll have to look up, but we're gonna go through them all. I think
All right.
next week it'll be Guardians. So anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and take a break, and I will see you guys back in about 15 minutes or so.